Welcome to City on a Hill Gaming, a tabletop RPG actual play podcast. To find out more, download episodes wherever you get podcasts, or visit us online at cityonahillgaming.com, or by sending us an email at cityonahillgaming@gmail.com. You can also support us on patreon.com/cityonahillgaming. We hope you enjoy our show.
And other bit of good news is the jamming signal that was causing us difficulties that we were trying to work around. It cut off while we were recovering.
Alistair, that is not good news.
No, it is good news. We just have to work quickly.
They are here.
I'll get back on the horn with the ship. Send everybody to battle stations, power up the weapon systems. We're probably going to have some pirate visitors in the next hour or so, I would say.
Roger that, Captain. Do you need extraction?
We'll be extracting the crew from the ship. Apparently, the AI dumped the fuel once they were stranded here. So
that explains some of our other readings.
Yeah, you're going to have to cover us as we get the crew out of here. We will be loading them on the shuttle post haste.
I go back over
Captain,
to.
We'll move as close as we can to give you
facilitate. Yes, appreciate.
Give you cover and facilitate transport.
I go back over to Sylvia. I have two questions for you.
Please speak.
When are you supposed to be picked up?
Unknown. As once the trap that pulled us out of hyperspace was triggered, a drone should have been sent as part of that. That message drone would need to arrive, one or more vessels to salvage the ship and extract me would have needed to be dispatched. Travel times, it is difficult to say.
Did they estimate for you?
Not especially, no.
Can you turn the systems back on so we can rescue the crew? That is why we are here.
Yes, I can do so.
Captain?
One moment.
Please do then.
Done. When you see a number of frustratingly orange and red lights in front of you turn green.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. Hey, we're opening up those doors right now for y'all.
Understood. We'll be right out. Thanks.
Yep. Gotcha.
All right. Who's moving to the shuttle and who's doing what else?
Sorry. Wynn is like that lady at the airport who's responsible to explain to all the angry people what's wrong and how they're going to fix it. And I love that voice. It'll just be another. It's fine. We're going. Your flight will take. I just love that. Sorry, that's just. You're very comforting, and for some reason, unintentionally, Shiana is. I don't know, vaguely Eastern European, and I don't know why that wasn't on purpose. I lost the voice from 5 minutes into the first session, and I haven't gotten it back yet. So now I don't know, Ukrainian or something.
Bulgarian or something?
Yeah,
I'm enjoying vaguely Slavic otter.
Yeah, I don't really, that wasn't on purpose. Her ancestors are African, but that's beside the point. I don't know what happened. I lost the actual voice at some point.
It's like in The Expanse, like the one like Martian like city was a whole bunch of people from India and Pakistan and like one family from Texas, and the Texans managed to infect everybody with their accent and nobody knows why.
That's also fair.
That's fantastic. I love that. Okay.
Actual thing in that series.
Okay, while they're moving the crew, I start meticulously unplugging things that are necessary to remove the server from the storage space.
Okay. In that case, let me get you to. I'm trying to think if there's a. Well, I don't think there's a move involved in this. This is just something you're doing. You're not. I mean, you're doing it with purpose, but you're not under immediate danger yet or anything like that.
Can I technician technobabble?
Well,
so that I have advantage?
Technician and technobabble both give you advantage.
Okay. Oh, separately from each other. Okay.
Right. They are not doing things.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan.
Si, senor.
It's always better if you don't have to roll anything and can just do it. I would
I
say
mean, that's fair.
go with that.
That's fair.
For sure.
I'm not used
it
to
is-
systems where that works.
Great.
Yeah.
So who's taking the shuttle?
I'm gonna say let's send Win and Trevor back with the first batch of people, and I'll stay here with Shiana just in case this AI does something unexpected and unpleasant and needs to be disconnected a little more rapidly. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Trevor can play taxi.
Yeah, Wynn's happy to go. I mean, she's not like looking forward to it, but she's happy to go help the crew.
Can the airlock that was disabled that prevented us from just docking be turned back on, Grant?
Probably.
That would be something you would do.
Oh, I was just going to ask her to do it.
No, that'd be something you would do, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're a technical person.
I find a panel.
Great. As you start working on that, you get another call from the ship. This time it's your XO. Captain,
Yeah, what's up?
we have inbound.
All right. Prepare to engage. We'll do what we can on this end.
Looks like 2 light minutes out, maybe a little less.
It will be the Crimson Reavers.
Power it up, and they're pirates. Like, be ready.
Roger that, Captain. And at about that time, you get a message broadcast. Hold on, Captain. I'm getting a message.
Yeah, patch it through.
Attention, Glacius. This is Captain Hadrian of the Crimson Reavers. I'm sorry to inform you that due to outside interference from what appears to be a TCO ship, we are going to have to change the plan. We had intended, of course, to honor our agreement, but it appears that may be a little too much trouble. Not to mention, of course, that the amount of credits you were offering was, shall we say, outbid by somebody offering more for your hardware and data separately. As a result, the torpedoes...
Brent, I want to actually cut this off and go to the ship while he's still monologuing. Shoot him out of the sky.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to do that.
Okay.
But everyone else is still hearing. The inbound torpedoes are, of course, part of this change of bargain. But I thought you should know rather than be disappointed. Well, be shocked and appalled at our betrayal. You need to know, the reasons for this change of tack. I do apologize. Perhaps we'll do better next time. Not you, but us.
I like how you somehow
trying to countermeasures take down those torpedoes.
I like how you somehow managed to just, it's not you, it's me. And
I'm getting distinct Magrathea voice from you on this one, and I love it.
I'm happy to hear that.
Big like guy who has to use the intercom at work because it's part of his job, but he really hates doing it. Yeah. So there's just like a standard monotone that he just falls into as he reads you the script. That's yeah. Love him.
All right. I think we need some keep your cool rolls here. Ryan, let me get Shiana to roll keep your cool. And you do have advantage on this because this is a keep your cool roll to do what you're trying to do, disconnect this thing.
And that's stalwart?
Yes, you're rolling stalwart, but you're rolling it with advantage.
Okay.
Which is 3d6, keep the better 2.
I really should have known from the tone of your voice from the crew that something was not right. I knew something about that bothered me. So That's a 6 total, I guess.
Yes, that is a 6. Okay.
Disappointing.
Okay, so yeah, I get to make a move here. There's a tremendous impact on the vessel. The good news is these things are pretty bulky. The bad news is you're starting to lose atmosphere as a torpedo strikes, thankfully, on the other side of the cargo area you're working on. And Wynn, let me get you to keep your cool as well, because you're having to rush the dock. You're out in space. you're piloting. This is not great.
Okay, so I'm just doing three d6 rolls.
You're rolling. Let's see. Is there anything that's giving you advantage on this? I don't believe there is in this case.
Yeah, the
So you're rolling
2d6 is advantage.
2d6
Oh, okay.
plus stalwart. The good news is your stalwart's a +1.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
All right, so that's a 1 and a 5. +1 is 7. So that's good. So you have a choice here.
Okay.
You do it, but you have disadvantage going forward. You suffer 1 stress, or you give up something, leave something behind, or take something with you. I get to say what?
Ooh, I want to give up something or take something.
Pick one.
To say what? Oh, I have to pick one of those. I thought you got to pick. I'm going to take something.
Well,
with me.
you pick that option. Okay, so you're choosing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Give up something, leave something behind. Yeah. What ends up happening is you're rushing to get the crew docked. The shuttle docked, the crew on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get both crew members on board.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to bring, ship's logs, all the usual stuff that they are supposed to bring when they abandon ship. You have to leave all of that behind, which means there's no proof of what's going on here that belongs to your client. Only their word, it's the crewman's word, which is fine, but there's no log data from the ship.
Okay. So I'm rushing them so fast. Come on. We got to go. I don't let them take time to gather their logs and their data and stuff. We leave that behind. But we make it across.
You have them on board. Mind you, your other crew members are still in the cargo hold, which right as you detach, shudders horribly as a torpedo impacts the side of the vessel.
Oh.
Somewhat disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing what?
Alistair's going to get back on the comms and be like, "Yo, where's the countermeasures?"
They're deployed, Captain. We didn't get a good lock on the torpedoes, especially these that were fired first.
I assume that if they fire more, you'll get a better lock on the next batch, because we won't take too many more hits like that.
Understood. Get aboard, sir, and we'll get you out of here.
I assume I should have some kind of consequence for my 6.
Yeah, I thought we did that already. That's the torpedo.
Oh, it hitting. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was the consequence of.
I gotcha. Okay.
Of your failed roll. There is the vessel is cracked open and is rapidly leaking atmosphere.
Hey, at least we can't leak oil. That's already been dealt with.
No, don't talk to me about it. I've been doing car repairs for 2 weeks.
That's fair. Mine's in the shop too. I get it. Yeah, it's not great. I look at the computer. I apologize. I'm going to have to do this more quickly than you like.
Understood, given the circumstances.
I go back to unplugging things.
You can tell that you see lights starting to blink out. It looks like she has started some sort of shutdown sequence. I'm
going to unplug everything that connects her to the rack except the power until I know she's shut off. If I can make it that long. I don't know if this is like a Windows sequence where shutdown is going to take 5 minutes or if it's fairly efficient.
It's pretty quick.
I mean, I've got a fair number of things to disconnect her from technically, but
yeah. That depends. Who's there with you? Alistair?
Yeah. I believe so.
Cool. Alistair, what are you doing to help out here? Other than yelling at the ship.
Basically, just like if anything like starts moving towards him or something, I will wave it away. I'm running interference so he can work, or I guess the player character is a she, but
all right. Then Shiana, why don't you do an act quick?
Okay.
Because you're cutting it close here. Right?
That is with Slick. Okay.
Yeah. And so you're trying to do this as quick, when you have that moment of, okay, down, unplug. Right?
Right. Okay. Slick. That is a net total of a 2.
It's not great.
No, it's not.
Alistair.
Yeah.
We should have done this beforehand. You're helping out, you said?
I'm basically just trying to create space for him to do his thing.
That sounds like you're doing a lean on me, supporting his efforts.
Sure.
So give me that roll with stalwart there.
Okay. Only a 6, unfortunately.
A 6. Okay.
This is literally my best stat, and I roll a 6.
Well, unfortunately, sometimes this is how it goes. That said, Ryan, roll me one more die because you are acting with advantage here because this is all technical stuff.
Oh, okay. So 4 plus 2 minus 1 is 5 instead of 2.
5, it's
That's
not
less
2.
bad.
All right. Well, I've done what I can for you. You are right in as you're trying to disconnect this. Power gives out on the deck that you're on, and you know what? We'll do it differently. Alistair, you get sucked off your feet towards the gap.
Okay.
Oh, the hole
we're
from where
talking-
the explosion was. Okay.
Yes.
I'll look around for anything that I can use to like catch myself.
Okay. We'll get back to you. Wynn and Trevor, you've got the crew on board. What are you doing now?
Gas pedal down for the back to the ship to drop off the crew and come back and get Captain.
Okay.
Yep. Just helping the crew, making sure everybody stays calm and is able to get across easily.
All right. You're able to do that, and then you hear over the comms, shoot, Alistair. Oh no.
I'm floating here. might not be the best time. What you got for me?
No, that was Wynn and Trevor hearing that.
Okay.
What do?
We heard that
That was
like over
the
comm.
ship calling Captain.
Sorry, what?
It sounded
I
like
didn't
the
hear what you
ship was
said, Brian.
calling to Peter.
Well, no,
Okay.
I was saying Shiana was going, oh no.
Oh.
Oh, well, we've got to get the bodies back alive.
The bodies.
We got to get the crew back. Is as far as spaces of like would we know that Alistair is being sucked out of the ship?
That depends. Has anyone told you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Then, no.
So then my first thought process and my whole thought here is get to the DOS, get them unloaded, and get back.
Okay.
Can I use jury rig to make something out of the cabling around me to throw towards him?
Oh, you absolutely can.
Yay. Okay, calculating. 2d6. This is one of my moves.
Yes, it sure is.
So does that make it advantage or just the 2d6?
Well, are you spouting technobabble about what you're doing?
Sure. Wait, let me find the technobabble list. I always like to use the list. Okay, so I need to pick from down the list. I am going to decouple several of her cables, unravel them, and then temporarily combine them together, and yada yada, fling them in his general direction for him to grab onto.
Great. Alistair, you are grabbing onto, I'm going to say, the outside edge of the hull.
Okay.
The classic, I'm being blown out. My feet are being,
His feet are in space. The rest of him's inside.
Space. The rest of him's hanging, by his fingertips on the hull. Classic, I'm about to fall, but up kind of thing that you get in space.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me that.
So 3d6 plus calculating.
3d6.
Okay, so that is 10 total.
That's a 10 total. Excellent. All right, so 2 things. It won't take long to do. It will do exactly what you want.
Okay.
It won't break the first time you use it. Pick 2.
Okay, right. It won't break the first time I use it. It'll do exactly what I want, and it won't take as long as I think.
It won't take long to do.
It won't take long.
Sounds like the first 2 are the ones.
I was going to say, is it won't break while the first time I'm using it, or after the first time I'm using
it?
I don't need it to work but once, I hope. First 2.
Excellent. You whip a line out there. perhaps attaching others as it goes past, and get a line out to him secured somewhere. Alistair, you're attaching it to yourself or pulling yourself in some way?
Yeah, I'll I mean, since he rolled a 10, I'm gonna assume that this comes like straight for me. I can just grab it and
It
reel
does
myself
exactly
back
what he
into the
wants.
ship.
Yep.
Much obliged. We are out of time. Grab what you can and let's get out of here.
I think I'm
All
only
right.
taking the primary unit.
Better than nothing.
I think that's where I've landed on this.
You have disconnected the data cables running into that
Secondary system, yeah.
secondary system. There is one bot left, by the way.
That hasn't been sucked into space yet.
Yes.
Okay. Is he still functional when she's powered down?
Yes.
Okay.
It's currently trying to pick up the server rack. And actually, because gravity is off, it's succeeding.
Okay.
Just very slowly. And not really thinking a whole lot about mass not stopping once it's up.
Good. Okay. I poke it on the head and point the direction I want it to help me move it.
Right. It starts helping you out.
Okay. Okay. We head towards, I don't know where we head towards. Somewhere they can come back and dock to. I guess.
Brever? First off, who's driving?
I am.
Cool. There is there's the dock, the hatch where you guys initially came in. There is also a giant hole.
There is the giant hole. And I mean, hey, Alistair's already next to the giant hole.
Does have advantages, I suppose.
Let's not hit him.
I mean,
he literally drifts in.
We still don't know that Alistair's got his issues. So we're going to go back to the dock, the closest to where we know the server is and all that stuff we're picking up.
I mean, he should be able to see Peter flailing outside of it like a wacky wavy inflatable tube man at a car dealership.
I mean, you can also talk to each other.
Is it
yeah,
the opposite
that's
end
true.
of the ship?
Trevor and Wynn, you see an enormously bright flare of light off in the direction that you think the first torpedo must have come from. You're pretty sure that Desmond Doss managed to shoot down another torpedo.
Whew,
Excellent.
that's good.
Oh, good. Okay.
We're very relieved by that.
Your visors go almost pitch black automatically to compensate. It's still bright.
Trevor.
Quickly.
Like they took down a nuclear torpedo. We need to move.
Yeah.
Alistair's at that opening. That used to be a wall.
Okay. If it's depending on whatever's closest, if I need to, I'll circle over to the hole in the wall. But depending how far I am from, like spatially, what those distances look like.
Get him first. I still have to get the unit to the door.
Okay, I'll swing around and I'm assuming this is a backdrop like a shuttle, like a TNG shuttle where the backdrop's out.
It sure can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of curiosity.
So I'll swing around back to the
I
hole.
can't imagine it would be nearly that grungy if it wasn't like a hatchback, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, swing around, drop the hatch, and let Peter let go and fall in.
Okay.
I'm gonna basically like. Well, no, I reeled myself back to being by Ryan's PC, Shiana.
Oh, did you
Okay.
actually? I didn't know if you came all the way back in or not. Okay.
Yeah, I reeled myself back in on the cable. So I'll help you, like, shove stuff on board, but it's like, oh, I am going to have words for these pirates as soon as I'm back on the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we pushed the one unit on the thing, onto the shuttle. That's the word I wanted. There we go.
Okay. Sounds good. You guys managed to, with just a moment's work, change the direction that the server rack is moving in space and push off with it.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
And between that and your rather ponderous shuttle, managed to basically scoop the three of you and a giant box of data out of the sky.
And
It
as
looks
soon as
sweet.
they're safe and board, we gun it for the DOS.
Awesome. Win,
Yep.
you're trying to rescue your friends from the cold darkness of space and also very hot, bright parts of space. How you feeling?
Well, the adrenaline has surely kicked in, but I think she's probably, white knuckle grip on her seat and trying to just breathe through the terror.
Okay. I'm glad you're doing that. That's good. All right. Let's do this then. You guys are, once you're all back aboard the shuttle, the DOS can move to closer to you, pick you up, and start trying to fight out of here. I assume once you get the shuttle on board, you guys are jumping out and running to the bridge.
Yeah.
Full sprint.
Yep.
Great. Anybody not doing that?
I mean, I stay long enough to pat the unit on the, because she's still powered off.
Yeah.
And not plugged in. And I is there like some kind of, I know there would be on C3PO, because that's the example we used earlier. Is there a switch I can use to turn the droid off?
I'm going to say you can disable it.
Okay, because I don't want him touching
There
anything
may not be an
once we're on
official
board.
switch, but you
okay,
can
that's fine.
you can make an unofficial switch. If nothing else, you have a shotgun.
I'd rather not break him, but yeah, I want him to not touch anything either. I shut the droid down, and then I pat the server, and I'm like, sorry, I'll be back.
Sounds good.
I make sure she's nowhere near power, and I assume I left the generator on the ship, right? The generator was in the other unit I didn't bring.
Well, there was a backup unit in there. You got a chance to look in there as you were disconnecting. There was a backup unit. There was the giant transmitter that was being used to dump data and communicate partly with you guys, and a few other.
Like, is there any like
system?
Is there any like remote power source on what I brought with me?
Yes, there's a little bit of one.
Okay, if it has its own actual independent mechanical switch, I turn it off.
Okay.
So that the system can't like boot on LAN or whatever.
Got you. All right, you do that, and then you're booking it to the bridge.
I'll go to the engine room.
Engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go to the engine room.
Sounds good. This then sounds like a good opportunity to do a little ship combat, and then hopefully we can wrap things up and have you guys out of here.
We haven't done ship combat. Okay.
We have not, which is one reason I wanted this to happen this way. So I'm very excited that it did.
Click the button. Okay.
So here's the good news. You guys are basically going to tell me what you're doing, right? And we'll, we see what happens, right? It works just like
the rest of it does.
Everything else, right?
And if I'm not mistaken, we have sensor array and lasers.
Yes, you have a sensor array, you have lasers. Lasers are what you're going to roll for your firefight move, right? Or you're going to use your lasers for that. But basically, you're using firefight or recover or any of the other basic moves or any moves that you have that apply, any of that sort of stuff. It's the same basic moves, but you have a ship. You're doing it with your ship as opposed to with yourself and your gear.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So first question for you, what's the priority here? Escape, shooting down pirates, what?
I mean, I think probably escape because we've got a bunch of innocents on board.
I second that.
Yeah.
I have some comments about the word innocent, but yes.
The crew?
They were in on it.
No, they were
they?
not.
Yes, they were. They
No,
made
they
a
were
deal
locked
as
in.
well. That is
No,
what
they
the
were-
pirate captain was talking about. They also
deal
had a
was
deal
with-
and he went back on them. He
No,
made two
the deal
deals.
was with Bryan. The deal was with the AI.
He specifically said he took a different deal and was going to blow them up even though he was supposed to rescue them.
Right. He was reneging on the deal he had made with the AI.
I took it as he was reneging on the deal he made with the crew of the ship, and he was
No.
taking the AI's deal.
No, they were prisoners.
Oh.
They were not in on any of this. They
I
were
misinterpreted
complete
Grant's tone
innocents,
when
yeah.
the prisoners were talking.
Yeah, no, they were confused as to what had happened.
Oh, I thought they were definitely in on it based on how he did that
No.
voice. Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. That was a panicky dude who'd been stuck in space for 2 days and trapped in a crew cabin with basically his trucker buddy.
Oh, I thought that was a panicky dude who was stalling for time because he was busted. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Then we can run. That's fine. I took that a different way. Okay.
I
It's all
apologize if
good.
I misled you there. This is a guy who has been. Imagine being stuck in your car for 3 days.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's another
We can
smelly-
I mean,
just
your
leave.
car's got, it's or like, a 1-bedroom apartment that you're sharing with someone else.
And you just can't leave the whole time. Okay.
You just cannot leave.
Okay. Then I just yell punch it Chewy and we leave.
Also, it's in space.
Yes. Also, it's in space. Your 1-bedroom unattached apartment in space.
Yeah. Cool. In that case, you're trying to get out of here?
I think
Yeah.
Ben is probably trying to get out of here. Yes.
Yeah, evasive maneuver and distance as possible.
Sweet. That sounds like acting quick. You're, using your instincts or reflexes to avoid a danger or negotiate through danger towards a goal.
So that's
Um,
slick.
I have something I want to do that can happen simultaneously to this, but let's go ahead and
Well, go ahead.
resolve, obviously.
Okay, what are you trying to do? Before
I
we roll
wanna-
anything.
I want to signal like the actual military that there's pirates here and bring like all the firepower down on these bad people.
Okay, you do remember there is no real FTL communication.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, we specifically did it that way, didn't we?
We
Mhm.
did. Okay.
It will,
Well-
again, sneakernet, it's faster to go somewhere and tell someone, hey, there are pirates.
Well, in that case, I will make sure that we've got good logs of this conversation or something, but it's like,
Oh,
we're sending people back for you.
sounds good. Actually, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Instead of slick, well, no, you go ahead and roll slick. If anybody else is helping, there is fire coming in towards your ship. In this case,
I'll
they are not using
shoot
lasers.
back.
They're using what appear to be mass drivers, basically firing chunks of material at very high speed.
I'll be happy to shoot back while he tries to get us out of here. Like
Excellent.
I've got the highest volatile score out of our group, so
Excellent. Let's go ahead then, and you roll firefight, and we'll have Trevor roll act quick.
Act quick was a 9.
Okay. Sweet.
well, I got a 12.
Okay. So you get to choose 3 on this then. You can so you're exchanging harm. There's 2 harm worth of mass driver shots coming your way. I say
Okay.
harm, damage, really. Damage is for ships, harms for people, blah blah blah. So you see the move options there for firefight. What are your choices?
I'm not seeing him on the ship page. Should I be just looking at the basic moves?
Yeah, just
or-
basic moves.
Okay.
The ship is your tools that you have to do moves as a ship. But it's not the list of moves other than a few very specific ship moves.
Let's see here.
So you can take evasive action and suffer -1 harm, and you can do that multiple times.
Okay, so I'm going to say we take a evasive action and suffer -1 harm twice,
Okay.
and you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. I want to say like Alistair like lines up a shot that just like rakes right across like the bridge where like the command of this ship would be, and probably like depressurizes their bridge.
Well, that's gonna okay. So you're exchanging harm here. Your
Yeah.
lasers do 1 harm, as I recall.
Yeah.
Let me double
I mean,
check that.
I would imagine this wouldn't actually kill anybody, but it would definitely frighten them is kind of what or heck, even just like crack the glass badly or something. I mean,
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, just in terms of description, right?
yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. You've got lasers that do 1 damage, and they're good at all ranges, which is awesome. So there's a larger pirate vessel and a couple of small flanking vessels. You go right across them with that laser, and it should be noted here, these are not fancy glowy beams. These are not turbo lasers from Star Wars. we're talking about a focused beam of energy. So somebody looking at this would see essentially a puff as metal on the hull of the pirate vessel just vaporizes under extreme heat.
Yep.
And that's pretty. And if there were anything to carry sound, an audible snap as everything superheated.
You know what? Just to kind of drive this home, this is just more flavor, but I'll say, like, as we're doing this, I'll hail the pirate vessel on the same frequency that they, sent their message to, and said, "Our ship may be named after a pacifist, but as you can see, we are not. You can leave or you can be destroyed.
Right.
Your choice."
Absolutely factors in. Okay. Yeah, they are definitely affected. And you've managed to avoid harm as well, which is excellent.
Yep.
Trevor, you're doing a good job getting out of here, but choose one of the negative consequences listed.
I took one stress.
One stress?
Yep.
Marvelous. They are not going to pursue, since you've intimidated and dodged and done very well getting out of there. Noting, it looks like they have noted your heading and are turning their attention toward the vessel.
All right. Not super great, but better than them shooting at us, so...
They can have the loot.
All right. Well, good news. You're out of here. Now, let's make one... Well, should I... Sorry, I'm thinking whether I want to do something or not.
While you're thinking, can I do something in character that just requires other party members?
Of course.
Shiana goes to the deck and just kind of walks over and pokes Alistair in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. Just be careful next time, okay?
You know I can't promise you that. It's a computer. I turned the droid off.
That was good thinking. I appreciate that.
I'll leave her unpowered until we can put her back together somewhere safe.
That is also appreciated.
Trevor.
Yep.
You're engaging the hyperdrive to get out. Roll alien, and let's see what happens.
So
One other quick thing to everybody, because we had a bunch of failed rolls. Everybody has marked experience for anything they failed, right?
Ben mentioned that. I have marked 2 more now, yes. I had completely forgotten about that, but yes.
And the hyperdrive is just a straight roll of 2d6?
With alien.
With alien.
Oh, good. I get to choose 2 of these.
Well, no, hold on. There's part of that missing. Oh, no, they were both ones.
They were, in fact, both ones.
Oh, snake eyes. Oh, boy.
Oh, heavens. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to speed things along, go ahead. We're going to mark. You're jumping out in a firefight. This is not great. Okay. Not to mention there's residual whatever from the hyperspace interference around this area. And your calculations were, shall we say, rushed.
Yep.
Go ahead and mark 1 maintenance, mostly for engines under enormous strain, and
Got
1
it.
damage as from, we'll just say, hyperspace turbulence, things that you did not have time to calculate maneuvers around.
So 2 maintenance total?
No, 1 maintenance, 1 damage.
Where does
The
damage go?
Superficial,
hits?
direct hit, hull breach adrift.
Oh,
okay. Got it.
So should he have rolled it a +1 because we have a 1 modifier when there's no maintenance?
It still wouldn't have affected it.
Yeah, I mean, it still would have been below, whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
Just less below.
I mean, there's exactly 3 results, basically.
Yeah.
We just happen to get the lowest one. There's not gradations within those.
Yeah. So maintenance is basically...
I'm going to have some work to do once we're clear.
Well, if your ship is listing in space because things are bad, you roll with the maintenance fuse.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
There are a few other cases where you roll with maintenance, essentially.
So right now it would be with the 0.
It'd be with 0.
But if it got worse, it would be with a negative. Okay.
Right. Also, when the maintenance fuse fills up, maintenance past due comes in.
Ah.
And things start breaking down.
Ugh.
Falcon. That's Millennium Falcon.
It's very much Millennium Falcon style. Yes.
Oh, all rolls are at oh, okay.
Yes. All ship rolls are at disadvantage when maintenance is due.
Good.
Don't do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay. So good news is you make it back.
Yeah.
You've got an AI who
We'll drop
seems
that
to
off
not
later,
want to
I guess.
come here. Seems to be a refugee. Seems to be wanted, apparently to the point where she would flee and risk the lives of others and steal an entire cargo ship that was bound for remote outposts for her
And
own
deal
safety.
with pirates.
And also seems to have research that she thinks is of vital importance on various alien technologies and archaeological findings. You have pirates. You have crew who've been rescued but have left a ship behind. All in all, it's been an okay day.
Could have been worse.
But there are, shall we say, complications outstanding.
Any ambush you walk away from is a good ambush.
That's right.
So I would like you guys, and I don't know, when we'll have you do this because, or not when, Liz will have you do this because you're not really rolling this as yourself. You're going to roll with rank. And your rank is -1.
Okay, so 2d6 -1.
2d6 -1. This is not a character approach or anything. A 9, that's an 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. The owner of the vessel is somewhat happy. Santiago Aronchi, excuse me. He's not thrilled, but he's got his crew. He doesn't love that there are pirates. But you've done technically what he asked you to do. You found the ship. You rescued the crew. You at least know what happened to it. It's probably not going to be there when you get back, but there might be something salvageable left. Who knows?
Certainly, we've got enough for an insurance claim.
You absolutely have that, although less than perhaps he would have liked, since ship's logs and that sort of thing were not there, only statements from the crew. He's not thrilled about that.
They've got our logs.
They do have your logs.
Sensor logs and comm logs and stuff like that.
He immediately starts muttering about how, well, it's not going to hold up in court because, ship's logs, your ship's logs could be faked and all this other stuff. He's satisfied, but his disposition is actually going to go down one. That's ultimately the consequence of when failing that or giving up something, leaving something behind, rescuing the crew.
Sorry, guys.
The good news is that your superiors are reasonably satisfied with the work you've done. Tough situation, weird situation. You did what you could and you came out all right.
And nobody died. So
indeed. Rear Admiral Desmet in particular, once you send off your report, a report comes back after a couple of days in dock with an acknowledgement, notes that pirates will have to be dealt with, orders not to turn the AI back on, and that specialists will be sent to collect it, and your payment. So with those difficulties hanging over your head, we're going to wrap this up, and you get to roll your ship payment move. In fact, you already did. That was the 8 that Liz rolled. So,
sick.
You get to choose 2. And I love the ship payment roll because you get to choose on a 12 plus, you choose 4, 10 to 11, choose 3, 7 to 9, choose 2, 6 or less. I love this. Your failures are focused on, or someone else steals your glory. Choose 1, or choose 2 and a confrontation with a rival within your organization. I always love that moment of, but what if we just made dramatic consequences? So here's the good news. Here's what you get to choose. And if you look at the ship tab, this is the ship payment mission complete move for those who want to read along. So you get to choose 2 of these as a group. All right. You make the right connections within your organization, increase your duty by 1. Duty is a track that you get to fill up, and when it fills, your rank goes up. Okay. You bring your ship in for service and reset the maintenance fuse. You get the ship patched up, remove all damage from the ship. You requisition an upgrade for your ship. You requisition a new vehicle, which involves rolling test drive. You collect your salary and have off-duty time to spend it, which means each crew member gets to roll on Hey Big Spender.
I think we need to do either maintenance or damage.
I would suggest we do both and leave the rest of the stuff for some future mission.
My only other consideration was Hey Big Spender, but that's fine.
I was thinking upgrade and Hey Big Spender because neither of them are too. It's only a single tack on each one,
and there's no negative currently on maintenance.
Right.
Well, but don't we get another point on maintenance because we've completed a thing? I thought I saw that on the list somewhere. Because we've completed a session or whatever it calls it.
Yes, when you complete a contract or an episode strain. So yes, your maintenance is at 2.
Okay. So now we're at a -1. So at least we need to do maintenance or damage, preferably maintenance. And then something else. I actually don't mind upgrade, but I don't know that it's necessary.
Yeah, I would say let's do maintenance and damage and call it a day.
Liz?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Maintenance and damage.
Ben, you good?
I'm good with that.
Okay. You clear the maintenance fuse. You clear your damage track. And there you go. You've made your selections, resolved any consequence moves. You've used up your off-duty time, and another mission awaits. And that's where we're going to wrap things up.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Is she still technically backed up on the ship?
No.
Since they took her unit.
All of her data
research is. Okay. Close enough.
So the databanks are full with her research.
There is so much data on board your ship.
Yeah, I'll start working on that. Yeah.
Much of the time in hyperspace literally just dumping data to spare storage devices, trying to free up space on your systems so that there's essentially room to work.
I'm manually building a storage rack to dump the storage rack onto.
Practically, yes.
That's a personal project on the list.
Well, that may be maintenance as well, frankly.
Oh, that's probably true.
We can qualify some of it maintenance as...
I guess what I do with that later on is a personal project.
Yes. Sorting out the data may be a personal project.
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, we're going to poke it later.
Excellent. So anyway, folks, this has been Impulse Drive. What do you think so far? Or I say so far. Now that we've wrapped this up, and this is the episode that we talked about, the 3 sessions, which is about where we wanted it to come out, Ryan. What do you think?
And I don't mean this rudely to either you or the creator. It's not a shot at either of you. I hate that this makes me deal with consequences differently than I'm used to in games. It is deeply frustrating to me. It's been a good experience. I have no objections. Mm-hmm. But it is deeply difficult for me. Because this is not the kind... I am very used to your very basic D20 or even D6 systems, but that don't deal in consequences. From the consequences are all math.
Right.
And that's not how this functions, and that is not how I process games.
Sure. I mean, you've grown up with trad games, traditional role-playing games.
Yeah. Like my furthest wonder is something from, I don't know, like anything that goes to this realm.
Like roll with shoes, or feng shui, that level of game. Sure.
So yeah, I like it, but it is immensely frustrating for me.
Interesting.
Not in a bad way necessarily, just immensely frustrating.
You're having to change your paradigm.
Yeah, I'm forced to play the game differently than I am used to and would, because I am at my core, I am a very traditional min-maxer. Mm-hmm. And it is very much all about what I can make the numbers do. And this really doesn't care very much about what I can make the numbers do.
No.
Or at least
really
not
doesn't.
on the same level I'm used to.
Really doesn't.
And,
Liz,
and
you
that makes it
joined late.
interesting.
Yeah. Liz, you joined late. Thank you for joining us for the game, by the way. What do you think?
Thanks for having me.
What do you think of Impulse Drive so far?
I mean, it was really, really fun, but it is very, very different than anything I'm used to. And so I definitely got distracted a couple times trying to like sift through my abilities, and then had to remind myself just to like tell you what I wanted to do and let you kind of worry about that.
Mhm.
Because I'm not a min-maxer, but I do tend to like, I know what my characters can do. I've got my my actions ready, so to speak. So this was different, but it was very fun.
Good. Ben?
Yeah, I think this is a game that is ideally formulated for improv players and storytellers that know how to work as a team. It's amazing how this system is built for that. And I do love that aspect. I'm a little bit of both Ryan and Liz on this, that like I like to know what the numbers are going to do, but then I also like to know what my actions are going to do. And so it's weird being like, okay, now I got to verbalize in narrative how I want this to come apart or come happen, so that you understand it as the space master, to then pick the move that I was expecting you to move to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really interesting mental algebra to put together.
Okay.
Like a traditional game like 5e wants you to work together, but never makes you. And I feel like this almost doesn't give you an option. I mean, like it does, but like you're way more incentivized to make this like a group effort than I think you technically have to be in something like 5e or Roll for Shoes, where it's just whatever happens with the dice.
Right. Peter, I know you've wanted to play Impulse Drive for a while. What's your opinion of it?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this is definitely not the first Powered by the Apocalypse game I've played. We played Offworlders in our Saturday group, and then the Sunday group that I'm in with one of our players from Saturday and some other folks that have been on here, actually. We played a fairly lengthy, well, not lengthy, kind of medium length Monster of the Week game, which is also powered by the Apocalypse. So I'm not dealing with like the paradigm shock, I guess I would call it, of the mechanics. I have absorbed that previously. I like the approaches system. I think like taking things like Stalwart and Volatile and Slick and Alien instead of like bodily and mental statistics does a better job of emulating the type of fiction that this is trying to emulate than forcing those kinds of stats would be. And that was kind of what I was hoping I would discover the system does when we played this.
Good.
So it's nice to see that working. I think out of the Powered by the Apocalypse games that I've played, it's between this and Monster of the Week. I'm not sure which one I like better. They're both pretty good.
That's fair. And I will say, I am not confident in my ability, having run a couple sessions of this, not confident in my ability to run it with tremendous success, because just as Ryan and Liz said, there's a paradigm shift, right? And you're kind of used to, well, I know what my characters do. Well, I'm also used to knowing what characters can do mechanically as well as a GM, and throwing things out and looking for places to roll, right? And I'm sitting here going, is there really no opportunity for you guys to roll here? Huh, that's weird. You guys are just acting. And I would say a somewhat bad job of jumping in with my moves as a GM.
Well, you're also kind of having to be consumed with hand-holding us through, minus Peter, hand-holding us through this, to be fair.
Nah, a little bit, but not very much. But
I think you did great.
It's one of those things where I look at this and go, boy, I've got a lot of room to improve running this kind of game. Because again, trad games for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
I do enjoy the fact that you do push us, which has been good.
I think you did a great job running this.
Oh, that's good.
Because you do have a very visual way of describing things. But this is one of those systems that I would love to see a podcast group of actors run through.
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely.
People who actually do the improv back and forth. Like I'm thinking of like the Critical Roles and the Dimension 20s and all the different groups.
Glass Cannon or something, yeah.
If not classically trained, at least like improv trained to be able to come up with all that on the spot. Because I do like this system in a sense, I think more than D&D for the podcast crowd.
Sure.
So I think because this is a very narrative game system.
Yeah, just to kind of like riff off of that a little bit. I noticed that too, where it's like the mechanics are lightweight enough where the more of the time that we spend playing this is spent actually making an interesting story, and less of it is spent like playing with numbers and mechanics and trying to get, that sort of thing to work. And while I mean, I enjoy like a good tactical game as much as the next person, I think especially for a podcast like ours where we're trying to avoid a lot of like heavy violence, we're trying to play characters that are good role models, at least to some extent. The system, even though it might be a little bit uncomfortable, fits really well with kind of like the goals of what we're trying to do with this whole project, and I really appreciate that about it.
Well, and I should say, Grant, thank you, because you are one of the GMs I know that has the ability to push me as aggressively as you need to out of the math bubble and into doing the thing. You do it, and Justin does a good job of it too, of forcing me to accept the system I'm playing in, because I often I want to just fall back on the numbers, and that is because like anytime I play a game, whether it's a RPG or if it's like an actual video game, I want to do things the mathematically correct way, and so when you force me not to, you manage to both push and handhold at the same time, which is appreciated.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to hear that. And also, I 100% get where you're coming from on that, as I grew up in min-maxy D&D 3.5 land, and Shadowrun. So,
Hey, we are all of a certain age here.
Yeah.
No,
or
at least several of us are.
I only know the math of Pathfinder and how to do it correctly, so this is difficult for me, but I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And I'm asking these questions mostly because this is a departure for a number of you, and I want to know your thoughts, as the GM, and how the game felt, but also for listeners, how is this playing out in your head? How did you feel about it? A little bit of analysis and thoughts on it now that we've sort of wrapped this up. By the way, we have skipped the end of session wrap-up move. If we're not coming back to this with these characters, I'm not too worried about it. If we are, we can deal with that later.
Yeah, that's fine.
No big deal. It's running relatively long, so I didn't want to spend a ton of time on that. But we did have a couple of hooks come into play.
I do anticipate you will see this again.
Yeah, I'm one XP away from leveling again.
Me too.
I know. And well, you know what? Maybe afterward it's fine. I just don't want us to completely forget what we did. Or we could re-listen to the recording or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the good news is there are a ton of PBTA games out there, and there are also other story games out there. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, is say, hey, Ryan and listeners who aren't familiar with this, maybe, and Ben, Liz, I don't know how much story game experience you guys have. This is a style of game that's out there that is different from the traditional games you've heard on the podcast before and that people might be familiar with. I want to just kind of present it as a thing to hear and experience vicariously, or in some cases directly. For example, you four. And those impressions are important so that other people, the listeners, can either be like, oh yeah, I agree, or, no, this sounded like it'd be a lot of fun, or no, this sounded awful. I hated listening to this part of it, whatever, right? This sounded like a pain to play, whatever the opinion is. But I just wanted to get those opinions out there so that listeners had something to compare to, and hear you guys, bring your thoughts into a solid form of feedback. But thank you all for playing. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to show you this.
Thank you for taking the opportunity.
If this is the kind of game
Yes,
people are
definitely.
interested in, there are so many Powered by the Apocalypse games. There are so many similar story games. I mean, you've heard Roll for Shoes before. That's a very, again, player-driven kind of thing where the GM is mostly just telling you consequences and nothing else. Same approach. There are a lot of these, as crunchy or as light as you want. So if there's a genre that appeals, trust me, there's probably something that we can make work.
Yeah, there's one called Fellowship that I've had my eye on since it showed up in a bundle of holding, and I picked it up.
We've talked about that one before. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and Grant has played that before, and we talked about that on Saving the
Yes.
Game a fair bit. So
I played the first edition. The second edition recently had a bundle release, so we picked that up. And I've played Space Worm versus Moonicorn, which adds the added complication of player versus player goals, where there's Space Worm. Think like, who's the bad guy in She-Ra?
Oh, yeah.
well, it's that kind of like an animated show kind of a thing.
A little bit, but not necessarily animated. It's that whole like, here's one pole, here's another pole. And at the end of it, the players end up aligning and seeing whose perspective on the world is right. And also there's a third party trying to cause problems. And that's the GM faction.
I need to actually wrap up. I actually do have to go now.
Yeah, no problem.
Time's caught up with me a little bit.
Oh yeah, no problem.
But folks do expect to hear more of something like this in the future if Grant is willing. Because we have very much enjoyed this. Thank you for listening. CityOnAHillGaming.com, Patreon.com/CityOnAHillGaming. Our website is broken, but I'm working on it. Hopefully by the time you actually hear this one, that should be fixed. So yeah, more of this and or other things to come. We'll let you know. Peter, Ben, Grant, Liz, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Say bye to the nice listeners.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, folks. Appreciate it.
And thank you for listening, and have a blessed day. Thanks for listening to City on the Hill Gaming. If you'd like to know more, find us online at cityonthehillgaming.com or by sending us an email at cityonthehillgaming@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at cityonthehillgame or find us online at patreon.com/cityonthehillgaming. Thanks as always to our Patreon backers, Grizzly Rich, JD, Bryan, Sir Lord Epic Name, Andrew, Christina, and Tony. We really thank you guys for everything you do to support the show, and we truly appreciate you. Thanks for listening, and have a blessed day.